Even Kapil Sibal appeared for civil services. He cleared the civil services but could not get into foreign services, and therefore he did not accept the IAS offer. When he appeared for civil services, in the draft form or the detailed application form, he filled in only one services, that was the foreign services. He got the 40-something rank in the UPSC exam, got the foreign services. That's a good story. But not many people take the bet that Kapil Sibal or Sumit took. Some of the most traveled people today are not diplomats, but there are YouTubers like Dhruv, Rathee. Why one service should be chosen over the other, and therefore in subsequent videos I'll be bringing in many IFS officers, foreign services, forest services, administrative services, police services officers in subsequent discussion and videos. So subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to taking this journey ahead and forward.
Hello Naman, I'm back again to trouble you. I have a very important question. So many people ask me also, but I always think that you have the right response. Can you tell me, why do people choose IFS over IAS?
Wow, that's a phenomenal question, and I agree. Many people have written to me with the same question, and unfortunately, many people are not aware of how incredible the life could be in the foreign services. I will make a detailed video on why IFS over IAS if many of you show the interest, so do fill in your comment. But in this video, I will want to talk about a phenomenon that I've been seeing for past few years, that all the toppers in the civil services usually choose IAS over the Indian foreign services. This wasn't the case in the 90s or the 80s. In fact, IFS was the creme de la creme of the Indian civil services. And to just give you an example, I think Kapil Sibal, I think most of you would know him as the former minister in the Education Ministry of India in the UPA government, and inspired by his elder brother Kamal Sibal, who was the Foreign Secretary of India, even he appeared for civil services. His dream was to become an IFS officer, but unfortunately he did not get the IFS. He got the IAS, to which he humbly rejected and went on to do something else with his life. Not just Kapil Sibal, a very dear friend of mine, Sumit Seth. Hi Sumit, if you're watching this video, hope you're doing well. So Sumit Seth was the Indian Deputy Ambassador in Myanmar when I met him the last time. I think he's the GS in the Ministry of External Affairs today. When he appeared for civil services, in the draft form or the detailed application form, he filled in only one services, that was the foreign services. He got the 40-something rank in the UPSC exam, got the foreign services. That's a good story. But not many people take the bet that Kapil Sibal or Sumit took in their careers. And therefore, I would want to talk and delve deeper into why people are choosing IAS over the IFS. The first reason is simple and quite evident, that people are not aware of things. So there's something called exposure effect, that more things we get exposed to, we end up choosing those things. So for example, a few days ago, there was a research conducted for all the teenagers in the US, and the question was simple: what would you want to be when you grow up? Not many said astronaut. They rather went on to choose YouTuber as one of the professions. Therefore, exposure becomes critical. Most of the Indians are exposed to the world of IAS. They see the collectors, they see the SPs, they see the bungalows and the red beacons, and therefore they do not know what would be there in the foreign services. They don't know what a consul general or the first secretary or the second secretary do in the usual diplomacy, and therefore exposure effect plays a critical role, and people choose IAS because of lack of information. I will be bringing in an IFS officer here in my YouTube channel to talk and delve deeper into the nitty-gritties of working in the foreign services. So if you're excited about it, do comment below and let me know what are your thoughts. The second thing, what I've realized about people choosing and preferring IAS over IFS is simple, because the world, in the erstwhile era, traveling was a privilege. Not many got the opportunity to travel the world. Today you can travel from one location to the other location, one corner of the world to other corner of the world within 24 hours. In fact, some of the most traveled people today are not diplomats, but there are YouTubers like Dhruv, Rathee, who have been traveling the world. So it's not just about Dhruv, Rathee, but I think the opportunities to travel the world have widened. I have traveled quite a few countries. synonymous to what an early stage diplomat would, and therefore there are more options available to travel the world. That was one of the privileges in the erstwhile era. So that could be one of the hindrances in becoming an officer in the foreign services. The third aspect that I should be talking about here is the component of raw power. The allure of raw power is real in the IAS. Many people go on to join the IAS because they do get the powerful network, they do get those powerful connections that you may not get in the foreign services, rightfully or wrongfully. With all due respect, if I were given the option and opportunity between the IAS or the IFS, I would undoubtedly pick IFS, and I will tell all the stories and reasonings in the subsequent videos. So do comment if you're excited to watch that video. The fourth reason that I find fascinating why people choose IAS over the IFS is, if you look at the demographic profile of people who are appearing for civil service exam, you would realize that in the 90s and the 80s, most of the people who were clearing the exam were coming in from the capitals. Today, because of the decentralization of various aspects of our life, people from Bihar and the remotest corners of Madhya Pradesh are appearing and getting into civil services. And for them, again, the exposure effect kicks in, and therefore they pick IAS over the IFS. IAS has many pros and consequences over IFS. Same is the case with IFS, and it is extremely critical people get to know about the reasoning of why one service should be chosen over the other. And therefore, in subsequent videos, I'll be bringing in many IFS officers, foreign services, forest services, administrative services, police services officers in subsequent discussions and videos. So subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to taking this journey ahead and forward. There are various means to be part of the foreign services, not while being part of the Indian foreign services. My co-founder Shadakshi worked with in international affairs while being part of an international organization. There are various means and ways and means through which you can be part of such an incredible network. Today, I sincerely believe that folks like Tanmay, Bhatt and Sadhguru are the true cultural ambassadors of India than many of the official designated authorities. And therefore, I would also want to talk about one component of international affairs that we keep on missing. That's the component of the billiard ball model versus cobweb model. So the thing about billiard ball theory is simple. In the erstwhile era, only the billiard balls, could interact with each other. Those are the nation states. But today there are various non-state actors that can interact with each other, and that's when the cobweb model theory comes in. So even if you're not part of the foreign services, there are various ways and means through which you can impact foreign policy. And I can see that happening with various influencers influencing foreign policy. When Madhya Pradesh government worked on its own tourism campaign of MP Gazab Hai, they collaborated with various YouTubers to drive home the point. Similarly, today Sadhguru has been advising and speaking a lot in the UN for the yoga. And therefore, it's imperative that you do not confine yourself to the hollowed spheres of just working in the foreign services or police services or the IAS. If those things are not working out for you, do check out TGI's Impact Fellowship, and we hope that you become India's ambassador, not just while being in the foreign services, but also while being in the private services that you might go on to do in years to come. Good luck, take care and stay safe. Subscribe to the channel and look forward to seeing you again. Good luck.